So Hill Dog was in Chicago, along with Senator Tammy Duckworth. And this recently got to my attention thanks to a viewer who watches the show, to which I have to say again to my viewing audience, I love you all so much. You guys constantly sometimes send me messages like, hey, check this out. Hey, this is breaking news. You need to see this. And I got to say, you guys never, ever, 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 ever disappoint. Okay? So let's go ahead and bring this up here, because without all you lovely, beautiful people, we wouldn't exist. So thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's go ahead and pull up this video here and play it. Where, again, Hillary Clinton, sorry about that, Freudian slip there, gets called out here in Chicago. And what do you think the liberal audience is going to do? You think they're going to listen, or you think they're going to boo?
U.S. Marines. What's 1 million Iraqis not enough for you? What's 1 million Iraqis not enough for you? Free Palestine! Free Palestine! You murderer! You murderer!
Muslim, please.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Free Palestine! Fuck Kamala Harris! Guns are losing this fucking election!
Good for her. But notice how the liberals like, boo, be quiet. Hey, liberals. Hey, liberals. Liberals. Please explain to me. Make me understand. You said for a long time, and I remember all of you even joining those protests too. Don't think I forgot. And listen, if people say, well, gee, kid, you're being mean to those activists, it's because I remember covering those jackasses from 2017 up until 2020. All those people talking a big game, all those people being anti-war, all those people being anti-corruption, all those people saying, let's build a coalition, let's stand against racism and bigotry and sexism. And at the end of the day, when Biden got elected to office, all you nutless wonders went right back to brunch. I'm calling you out. And listen to all you activists, to all you quote unquote protesters who are now with the Democratic Party. As soon as an anti-war voice speaks out, or somebody speaking out against the genocide in Gaza, you boo them. You yell at them. You talk down to them. Does it come as any surprise why Arab and Muslim voters are not supporting the Democratic Party? Does it come as any surprise how black men and women are not supporting the Democratic Party? It's because the Democratic Party has screwed over people, all people in this country, for a very long time. If people really knew what the Clintons and the Obamas really did to us, you'd be screaming bloody murder. Hey, that crime bill, who did that happen under? Bill Clinton. Who was his wife? Old Hill Dog himself. Herself. Getting rid of Glass-Steagall under Clinton. The increased corruption and neoliberal policies that we're seeing happen under Bill Clinton. You know, one of the architects for that crime bill, guess who it was? You know it. You love him. Joe Biden. Let's talk about Barack Obama getting rid of habeas corpus. 2 wars to 7. Nobody held accountable for 2008 economic collapse. Nobody in Bush Cheney held accountable for the ridiculous wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. Increased corruption, abuse of power. Does it come as a surprise? Does it come as a surprise that maybe people would be giving a middle finger to you liberals? Here, one more time. Watch how these oh so kind, bleeding heart liberals respond to a true anti-war voice.
13 U.S. Marines. What's 1 million Iraqis not enough for you? What's 1 million Iraqis not enough for you? Free Palestine! Free Palestine! You murderer! You murderer!
Muslim, please.
Fuck Kamala Harris! Guns are losing this fucking election! 13 U.S. Marines.
Now, she had every right to scream out. But I also want to let people who are diehard Clinton supporters or Obama supporters or Kamala supporters understand this, that this genocide that's happening in Gaza, I mean, you guys own it. I want to play this video here. We played it before, but it's very apropos to this video.
4 years of Trump. You could survive again. 240,000 Palestinians did not survive 4 years of Biden. You survived Trump. You survived it. Trump is going to be worse than Biden. Let's measure it. What do you mean relative to what happened to the Palestinians? Tell me what is so terrifying that you are willing to forgive the genocide in Gaza. Tell me what scares you so much that you are willing to step over Sidra's lifeless corpse with the legs blown off and say, excuse me, sorry. That you will step over Hind Rajab's cold corpse that was shot at 360 times by the Israelis while she sat in the car waiting for an ambulance that was blown by Israeli tank. That you step over Hind Rajab's body, sorry Hind. That you would step over Reem's body. Tell me what's so terrifying. You step over Reem, Ruh, spirit of my spirit. That you step over the child, you can't identify this child, the head's blown off. You step over them. You step over those 240,000 corpses to get to that ballot box. You step over all of them. You walk by the Palestinian refugees walking by. Where are you going? I'm going to the ballot box. Voting for who? You're too ashamed, embarrassed to say it at that time. You walk to the ballot box. You walk over those bodies, piles and piles of those bodies, drenched in the blood. You see those kids in those images of the hospitals, crushed by the rubble. Their arms are hanging, blood dripping for no other crime than some random people from the West said this land belongs to us. You will walk all over those corpses, go to the ballot box, vote for the one who did it to them, Jalal. Vote for the one who slaughtered them. Vote for the one who massacred them. Vote for the one who continued to lend every impunity to them. Vote for the one who broke the whole international order to slaughter those children, to slaughter our brothers and sisters, to commit the most brutal genocide. You will cross all of those corpses to the ballot box. You will put a cross next to the name of Harris, the one who committed the genocide with Biden. And you will yell to those spirits and say, I did it for you. You will look at them in the eye and say, I voted this for you. You will say that I voted for the one who killed you. I voted for the one who gave the bombs to slaughter you. More bombs than Dresden, more bombs than Hiroshima, more bombs than Nagasaki.
And if you were to tell this to a liberal would say, but we're trying everything we can to be diplomatic. Or a liberal will just tell you to shut up. That's right, Democratic voters. You think I'm going to let you vote blue no matter who sycophants bully people around like you did the last time? You think we're just going to sit here and watch you smugly eat a carrot in front of our face, acting like you know better than the rest of us? Maybe it's long overdue that you guys get bullied back in return. Maybe it's long overdue you get a taste of your own medicine. Now, I know you won't learn the lesson, but Democrats, haven't you noticed a lot of people ain't showing up to your events anymore? Haven't you noticed, like, young people aren't showing up anymore? That usually it's just the same people showing up. Only those lame enough to show up are going to show up. Democrats. I mean, that's you guys all the time, every time, Democrats. It's like you like being abused and slapped around. It's like you like being told that you're losers, but the thing is, no one wants to hang out with a loser. Why do you think you're losing your coalition? All what you have is twump bad. But it's a genocide that's happening under Kamala and Biden. I remember in 2020, Democrats, all of you saying that World War III would happen under Trump if Biden loses. Turns out we got World War III happening and Biden won. Turns out we got genocide happening and Biden won. Turns out we have a crumbling economy and Biden won. Turns out the kids are still in cages and Biden won. Turns out Americans are still going broke and Biden won. Turns out nothing fundamentally changed. It just got progressively worse. So F you, Democrats. And the horse you rode in on.
More bombs than World War II. I voted for the one who gave unfettered access to all those weapons. I voted for the one who sent the Marines to help kill you. And you will dare to look me in the eye and say you did it for Palestine. You did it for them. The nerve, the sheer arrogance of it. It's not for Palestine. It's for your comfort. It's for your status quo. It's for the luxury that you live. Trump is not going to blow up your limbs. You're not going to have a limb amputated in the next 4 years because there's no anesthesia. You survived 4 years of Trump. You could survive again. 240,000 Palestinians did not survive 4 years of Biden. You survived Trump. You survived it. You didn't have your home taken from you. It wasn't handed to Ben Shapiro. It wasn't given to Ben Walsh. The National Guard didn't ethnically cleanse California of Muslims. They didn't go to the East Coast where it's colder. None of that happened to you in the 4 years. None of that will happen to you in the next 4 years. What are you so scared of?
I'll tell you what they're scared of. A lot of these liberals, secretly, in their most private of moments, all those liberals are secretly just like Trump. They just know how to hide it better. Remember Martha's Vineyard when those immigrants showed up? Martha's Vineyard, that rich, posh area. That's right, people, Martha's Vineyard. You think I forgot all about you? Oh, no. Just because y'all got money doesn't mean I won't bully you. Just because y'all got money and fancy houses doesn't mean I'm not going to make fun of you. Because when those immigrants came knocking at your door, you're like, oh, hi. You got to go now. We saw how you acted, and all those people in Martha's Vineyards were they're good old brunch-eating liberals. You guys didn't open up your homes, now did you? Liberals. Because all those liberals, they want to be like Trump. They're more than happy to act like Trump. Trump took off their mask. Because in their most private of moments, you'll be surprised how racist a liberal can be. Those liberals, Malcolm X was right. They ain't your friends. Never have been, never will be. Because those liberals want everybody to shut up. I want to pull up another video here. It's only a short 19 seconds, but another activist at that same event was interrupting Tammy Duckworth and Hill Dog Clinton. I want to pull up this video here. Again, how do you think the liberals respond?
Understand how challenging it is.
There is a genocide happening, and you are being silenced. You are guilty. You have blood on your hands. Tammy Duckworth, you have the largest Palestinian community in your constituency.
Oh, and yay, they cheer. I'm going to end this segment with this. I'm looking forward to a liberal meltdown. No, this is an endorsement of Trump. I'm going to vote third party or independent. I haven't decided which of the independent candidates I'm going to vote for, but I won't be voting Democrat or Republican. I'll be voting independent third party down the entire ballot line. And if there is no third party candidate for me to vote for, then I'm going to leave it blank. Okay? That's what I'm going to do. And I encourage my audience to do the same. You think the Democrats earned your vote? Hell no. They don't like you. They don't think about you. They don't respect you. Now, I also know the Republican Party is just exactly the same way, too. But if Trump does win, I think a lot of these liberals, I just want to see them cry. I want to see them live out their fantasy of pretending being a resistance fighter again. Hey, liberals, you know, at every single party, I ran into this iteration of you guys. And I'm pretty sure some of you people in my audience have seen this person too at a party or an event, or maybe as you're passing by, doing your own business, minding your own business. You've heard this conversation in one form or the other. If I was alive during the Civil War era, I would have helped free the slaves to be part of the Underground Network, Underground Railroad. If I was alive during World War II, I would have been part of the resistance and fight the Nazis and hide the Jews from the Nazis. You have my permission to look that person in the eye if you ever hear a conversation like that, ever, and say, no, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't do it. Because of their actions now, when a genocide's happening, when election fraud's happening, when unchecked corruption is happening. No, they wouldn't. Liberals, you wouldn't. I've seen you. I've seen how easily you break. I've seen how easily all of you are hypocrites. I've seen how all of you are frauds. You know, I will try my very best. As soon as there's a protest, the first protest happening at Trump Tower, I'll try my best to behave myself, to not make fun of them or mock them. I am curious how big the cage pen will be when the police herd all the activists, or when the leaders herd all their followers into that cage area so they could protest Trump Tower across the Chicago River. I'm very curious how big that cage will be. But my goodness, liberals, you will never be a resistance fighter. You will never be a champion. You're not the hero. Because when push comes to shove, how you would have acted during the Civil War era or during World War II, I hate to tell this to you, but what you would do then is how you're doing now, is what you're doing now. And a lot of you are silencing the voices screaming out against genocide. How very liberal of you, Democrats.
It is the best $3 billion investment we make. Whether or not in Israel, the United States of America would have to invent an Israel to protect her interest in the region. The United States would have to go out and invent an Israel.
I don't mean to sound alarmist, but most of what they let you read is garbage. Most of it's designed to warp our minds until subconsciously you find you'll take the time to lick their boots free of grime and wipe their minds free of tarnish. Oil is the centerpiece, a body count of millions is the garnish. So how's it feel to know we funded every carcass? That every year our taxes pay for carpet bombing Gaza under shroud of darkness? Or that we spend enough a year to house and feed each homeless person in the streets on turning families in apartment buildings in the Middle East to bloody craters full of charred garments? And our media is silent at best. At worst, they can find it in themselves to call war crimes clashes and label children burned to ashes terrorists who played a stupid game and reaped the harvest. And every time we try to paint the truth, the news sends their slugs to suck off all the varnish and distort it into something harmless. See, the media will hang you by your feet and keep you half asleep. So yes, I'm here to set you free, but freedom won't be sweet because you'll fall 1,000 feet when I come cut you out your harness. They say those who dream the deepest fall the farthest. They also say that home is where the heart is. But if home for you is Gaza, Netanyahu's got you painted as a target. Perhaps it's not the impact, but it's what you see when falling that will hit the hardest. Maybe it's the sound of all those children crying out in those apartments that will hit the hardest. Maybe all those little bodies scattered in the dirt will hit the hardest. Maybe seeing human lives assigned such little worth will hit the hardest. Maybe it's the knowledge that you're paying for the darkest of atrocities committed on this earth that will hit the hardest. Maybe it's the knowledge that we give 10 million a day to oppressors who possess the kind of Medicare you'll die in debt before you see that's gonna hit the hardest. Maybe then you'll see you've always had more in common with the commoners whose slaughter we fund every day in Gaza than our senators and bosses. Maybe then you'll see our country never had a conscience. Maybe then the retroactive guilt will make you nauseous. Maybe what hits harder than the impact is the act of being conscious, of knowing your complicity and helplessness to try and stop the bloody deeds of Congress. And that no matter who's in office, America preserves its foreign interests by whatever means its greed demands, however monstrous. You see, we'll always need a place to train our contras. And Biden's got a backup plan should harm befall the Holy Land. Wipe it off the map, he'll draw it back on with an iron hand. He demands an Israel or reasonable effigy to exercise democracy and colonize the Middle East. Regardless of the human cost of phosphorus atrocities, bought and paid with money they rerouted out the budget for the non-essential things like ever making Flint's water clean. So maybe what hits hardest is the day you see this country for its actual priorities, and never more no honest peace attempting sleep. Maybe then you'll look at politicians making speeches like a blood-encrusted beast espousing destiny to empty seats and fellow leeches. As the gauntlet of democracy, it extends its brutal reach. Like a giant wave of trash come to crash on foreign beaches. Maybe build a base, throw a flag down, and heavily pollute the region. Rape your ecosystems, gut your fauna, and congratulate you on your new allegiance. Oops, we mean alliance. This is something mutual unless you're non-compliant. We stole something crucial on which you can be reliant. So maybe what hits hardest is the centrist saying both sides need to stop the violence. And those would be the very same centrists saying we should all accept police brutality, who hem and haw and clutch their fucking pearls and spend their time condemning riots. But very soon will come the day the centrists all get censored like the rest of us, and pious as they'll try to be, they won't stay quiet. But they'll just end up shouting in the void that they were also quick to render us subscribers. And it will be too late to light the fires. So far away tonight, they burn the spires of a region set ablaze for which you've paid for every pyre. Which is why your checks weren't all $600 higher. And call it foreign interests or American desires. This is why your checks weren't all $600 higher. Far away tonight, they burn the spires of a region set ablaze for which you've paid for every pyre. Foreign interests or American desires. This is why your checks weren't all $600.